So ignoring my loud ass washers, you know, I used to talk about why older horror games are pretty much better and scarier. Bro, if you don't shut the hell up, I'm pretty sure I've discussed on my channel why I felt like older horror games are better. In fact, the video's right here. It just didn't get that much love. But yeah, I love this discussion. I feel like people aren't talking about it enough, and I want to see somebody else talk about it so they can agree with me and I can feel right. So yeah, why old horror games were scarier. Check it out.
The horror genre is one of my favorite game genres of all time at this point. I mean, I talk
Same,
about
brother.
at least one horror game in almost every single one of my videos. One horror game specifically. Oh god, oh no, it's sliding up the screen. I'm so scared right now. Please make it stop. Now, a big thing I've noticed while playing horror games, especially with modern ones, is, well, they just aren't that scary. I mean, they can be scary. It's just, they're more tense than anything. It made me think, maybe I'm just desensitized to a lot of this stuff from playing so many horror games. And this feeling especially hit me after playing the Resident Evil 4 remake. And in the moment I thought, hey, why not go back and try out the original again? That one always freaked me out because of the silly childhood trauma, and I wanted to see if I just feel desensitized as a whole. And after playing it, I can safely say that is not the case. Despite its goofiness, I find Resident Evil 4 scarier than Resident Evil 4. Now, what was it that scared me?
Okay, I can kind of agree with that. As much as I love Resident Evil 4 remake, and I believe that it is a better game, the remake is better. There's some about that old game that actually creeped me out, especially in the castle. They didn't replicate it in the remake, even though the remake is a better game. You're not catching me saying it isn't. 4, the original, is a bit scarier.
Was it the tank controls, the ambience, the
a bit more scary
boss fight who isn't in the remake for some reason?
Oh, I hated that motherfucker.
Terrifies me. Well, no, it was none of them. Well, aside from U3's design.
Yeah, that dude right there. Yeah, that dude.
It was the graphic style that freaked me out. Something about the lower poly, uglier textures on the monsters, it just makes them look freakier to me. Now, I know...
I'm sorry, another rant. This is exactly why I hate when people nowadays, maybe younger people who wasn't around when these games came out, or who was just shortly born after or just before, I'm sorry. They say, oh, these old games, they don't look good anymore, and the new graphics are just the best, and you know, going back and playing these old games just feels so futile. They don't say that. Going back with these low poly ass graphics and these dated graphics, there was a certain magic to it, and that magic, sometimes when you try to recreate it in a realistic engine, it doesn't pay off the same. It doesn't feel as scary. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. Maybe this dude to get into it more, but I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna rant more through this because I'm very passionate about this subject. But yeah, don't listen to the crowd. If you have not gone back and played the original Resident Evil 4 and you are playing the remake, or you have, play the remake and then go back and play the original. Or do it the other way around, because it's fucking terrifying.
Horror is very subjective, so I need to explain myself a bit more. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell.
Why is this on the screen?
Why is this on the screen?
This shit, but this is a horror video, so I thought it was fitting.
What is going on here?
Off of the screen. This is not what I pay you for. When it comes to older horror games, especially in the PS1 era, I tend to find them far scarier than modern horror games.
Okay.
With the lower poly models and dirtier low quality textures on the monsters. The developers were never able to fully get across what the monster they were trying to make fully is, which means your brain ends up filling in the blanks, and in my case, it thinks of the most disturbing, horrific shit possible. Not knowing is what makes the game scary. The whole fear of the unknown shit.
The
environments really add to this unsettling feeling too. You never feel like you're in a real place, and again, because of the low quality models and textures, your mind fills in the blanks for a lot of the things you're seeing. I can't think of a game that manages to fit this style more than the Silent Hill games. Well,
I need to finish the first one.
The original Silent Hill was a PlayStation 1 game, and almost everything in the game is unsettling. Hell, one of the most iconic things regarding Silent Hill, the fog surrounding the town, is mainly only there because of the draw distance limitations for the console, and it became a series staple afterwards, just not knowing what's ahead of you with every step. It's unnerving.
It's terrifying with the noise mazes and
I haven't
shit.
actually played Silent Hill. Make sure to like the video and especially subscribe, because I'll probably be streaming the trilogy on my YouTube channel in the future. That is a promise right here, right now on this video. The horror from low poly graphics isn't exclusive.
Played the
to
second
horror
one on
games,
my
though.
channel,
Hell,
so
it's not even exclusive to just PlayStation 1 era. There are games aimed towards kids back on the Nintendo 64 that shit me up when I was younger, especially with the N64 Zelda games. Ocarina of Time has a boss fight with this white blob called Dead Hand, and on its textures there are red stains, but because of its low resolution, you have no idea if that's
some nightmare
blood or
fuel.
just a rash on its horrific skin. That alone made me absolutely terrified of this thing. But in the 3DS remake, it's all HD and shit, and there's no red splodges on Dead Hand. It's nowhere near as scary. This is only one example of the eerie shit you see in Ocarina of Time. Hell, because of the low poly graphics on the Nintendo 64, I felt uneasy playing fucking Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, can you blame me? Have you seen the bloody metal shark in the game?
What the
It
fuck?
seems that I'm not the only one that feels this way about horror games, as a lot of indie horror games try and imitate this low poly
do.
PS1 and N64
It's not
era
bad at
style.
all.
The
I
developers
like it.
Puppet Combo are probably the people known for these types of horror
Puppet
games.
Combo
You
slaps.
take a look at any of the games they've made and they all have the exact same graphic style, and every single one is extremely unsettling. Even Christmas Massacre is horrifying.
Oh, but it
Just
looks
look at
old.
this
Shut
Christmas
your ass
tree
up, boy.
that's literally the thing of nightmares. I mean, in Christmas Massacre, you're the one playing as the killer, and it's still creepy, and it's all because of that graphic style. Another amazing indie game that has this style is Lost in Vivo. In fact, I'm not even going to
have
talk
not
about
played
this
that, but I
one.
kinda
You all
want
need
to.
play that one yourself. It's such a good
I probably will end
experience,
up
and
playing
I don't
this.
want to spoil any of the horrifying shit you'll see and experience in that game. It's literally the perfect example as to why I feel like the low poly graphic style works the best for making horror games scary. All I'll tell
You're gonna make
about
me
the
buy
game,
it now,
though, is
dude.
the plot has you trying to find your dog lost in a sewer.
Oh.
Have fun. The PS1 and N64 era of horror games were definitely freaky to me, but I do feel like the PlayStation 2 era has a
Silent
perfect
Hill
mix
3.
of weird abstract low poly monsters
I need to finish
with
that
slightly
game.
higher quality textures to them. Let's loop back round to the start of the video with Resident Evil 4. I personally find every single boss in the original far more intimidating than the remake because of the graphic style. I think as well some of the areas in the original feel more unsettling to be in. For example, the Vertigo boss area. It looks absolutely disgusting in the original with its much darker lighting, and certain aspects heighten this, like a slight fog to the area with flickering lights. Shit, that shit was probably used to take your attention away from the lower quality textures on the walls and props, but it ends up adding a much more unsettling atmosphere to me. I didn't find it as intimidating in the remake, sadly. It was still awesome though, don't get me
It
wrong.
was awesome.
Silent Hill 2 is another perfect example for this.
The
But
goats.
again, I haven't played it. I've just seen quite a lot on it, so yeah. I will stream it at some point. I swear I will.
Boy, I'd have
I
thumbs
hope you
down
enjoyed
this shit,
video.
yo.
I just kind of wanted to discuss
I'm
my
joking,
thoughts
I'm not
on
going
what
to.
scares me in games
Maybe.
and why I prefer older horror games over the newer realistic looking ones. Horror is an incredibly subjective thing, and I would love to know what you think down in the comments. Tell me what scares you in horror games and what doesn't. Anyway, I'm all spooked out right now. I hope there's nothing else scary in this video. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What's going on here? On some real shit, I have to heavily agree. Like I said, I'm very passionate about this topic. A lot of people don't really agree for some reason, probably because they haven't gone back and played older horror games or games that fit the style of those older horror games. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 remake is fucking awesome. Dead Space remake, fucking awesome. But from the small amount that I went back and played of the Dead Space game, the original, it had something about it that was just more. The new one jump scared me a lot. The old one made me feel very uneasy. It made me not want to walk forward. It made me not want to enter into the next corridor. Same with Resident Evil 4. When you hear all of that shit going on in the castle and with some of those areas, and when you hear that Vendigo, whatever the fuck that thing is running above your head and it falls down and runs at you, or when that deleted boss fight. Oh, there's so much stuff in that game where it's like, holy fuck, bro. Like, I am absolutely terrified. I want to pause the game. Silent Hill 2, it made me pause it through my first playthrough. I got so scared. I paused the game and I was streaming. I almost quit the fucking stream. Resident Evil 1, even the HD remake that still maintains that old style graphic fashion. I wanted to quit the game at certain points. I paused it. I freaked out. Genuine reactions, no reactions. Everything was just genuine, and it wasn't just like a jump scare. It was like a feel. Like one of the things that happened in Resident Evil 1 was silent. It was a silent scare, and it shook me to my core. Even during some of the times where I would go through a door in Resident Evil 1 and like just watching the door animation open slow, and I'm like, wow, are they actually going to throw something at me one of these times that I opened the door? And they never did. But throughout the entire game, I was afraid that they would. And that's what horror is missing nowadays. They throw something in your face and expect that to scare you. But in reality, what's scary is expecting something, not getting it, and still wondering, is it gonna hit me or is it gonna not? It's all about tension. It's all about building on what you don't know, building on the fear of the unknown. And if you build on that, then you can consistently scare your audience. It's the same, I'm a film student right now. Same with film. If you just throw stuff in people's face, it's not gonna scare them, especially too often. But if you give them a little something, and then you pull it on and on and on and on and on, and then you finally have a payoff that subverts expectations because you didn't do it in the way that they expected it, then that's great. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from these remakes. Like Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, amazing remakes. They are amazing games. I had so much fun with them. But there's just something about them old games where it's like, if I wanted to have like a lot of fun, modern fun, I'll boot the remakes up. If I wanted to be terrified and play it for somebody for the first time, I would boot up those original games and I would play through those. If you close your mind off to these older graphics, then you're really missing out on media. It's the equivalent of saying, oh, I don't watch films that were done before 2000. Like, where you're missing out on some of the best films you ever watched in your life. Same with games. I'm always up and excited for remakes, but you won't have the remake without the original.